Hello, everybody. In today's lecture, we'll be talking about the good clinical practices. Good clinical practice, or the GCP, is basically an international ethical and scientific quality standard that is followed for designing, conducting, recording, and reporting clinical trials. So, this will essentially involve the participation of human subjects. Similar to the good laboratory practices, the foundation of GCP has been laid by various regulatory bodies or declarations or codes, and they include the Nuremberg Code of 1947, the Declaration of Helsinki 1964, the Belmont Report of 1979, the International Conference on Harmonization, that is the ICH. And ICH GCP is a widely accepted and followed guidelines. Remember this. And then we have the International Standards Organization, or the ISO, which is a commonly known term. And finally, the Code of Federal Regulations by the US FDA. These guidelines that have been put forth for the good clinical practices address the responsibilities of the clinical researchers and on how they should pay attention to the details, be it occurring in the form of a positive observation or anything negative, and documentation of what is observed, and sticking on to the quality of the data or the scientific experiment being conducted, apart from the ethical quality and the process quality. Additionally, the themes of GCP will include the risk and risk management procedures and validation, verification, and inspection of the process throughout. The goals of good clinical practice are to protect the research subjects, or in general or in simple terms, to protect the volunteers who are taking part in that particular research. So, when you say about protecting a volunteer, it could be protecting their rights and it could be protecting their interests, both of which are essential while you carry out a clinical trial. Nextly, GCP focuses on ensuring the quality and integrity of research data. And this quality and integrity of the research data will support the decision making process which are involved while coming up with regulations. Like, for example, today during the COVID pandemic, regulatory bodies like that of the ICMR in India, the World Health Organization across the world, they come up with various decisions and various guidelines that are to be followed during this period. And these guidelines are essentially derived based on certain experiments that are carried out on volunteers, or based on observations that have been made during the clinical settings. And high quality and integrate data are what is considered before this decision making process by any of the regulatory body. And finally, GCP must also focus on assuring the existence and operation of quality systems. So there should be a clear protocol that is followed and that assures good quality outcome. So, in essence, good clinical practice is nothing but ethics amalgamated with quality data. So, when you follow good ethics, you get good quality data. And this, when applied to clinical trials, is what you mean by practice of good clinical protocols or good clinical practice. Why GCP is important? GCP helps in the adherence to those principles which include adequate human subject protection, which we know as HSP here. And this adequate human subject protection, or the HSP, is universally recognized as a critical requirement for any clinical research that is being conducted, or any research that is being conducted on human beings. And compliance to good clinical practices provides the public an assurance that the rights, safety, and well-being of the human subjects or the volunteers who are involved are protected. So this will encourage more and more people to volunteer in the study. And when such quality is maintained and when assurances are provided, it will also promote data integrity and reliability. So there will be lesser chances of data manipulation or provision of false data. Now coming to the application of GCP, we know that good clinical practices pertain to clinical trials. So, what are clinical trials? Clinical trials are those experiments that are conducted on human volunteers for newly identified or discovered drugs to check their efficacy and toxicity. But here again, there are varieties of circumstances in which GCP could be applicable. So there can be different kinds of studies that are performed on human beings, and in all of such studies, GCP is involved. To begin with, there are the studies of a psychological, biochemical, or pathological process, or of the response to a specific intervention. Which could be either physical, chemical, or psychological in healthy subjects or in patients. So here, the experiment or the trials are conducted on healthy subjects or either on the patients, where the studies will involve observation of the physiological, biochemical, or pathological processes occurring due to administration of a drug, or the response, which could be physical, chemical, or physiological, after the drug has been administered. Next, there are controlled studies of diagnostic, preventive, or therapeutic measures, which are designed to demonstrate specific generalizable response to these measures against a background of individual biological variation. So these are controlled studies where you have multiple groups, where one particular group is given a drug and there is another group with similar conditions which is given a placebo, or a drug which is not actually a drug but something that is told or that is given as a drug. Then You have another group which has got no treatment, and another group where randomized trials are being carried out. So, such studies are called controlled studies for therapeutic measures. Likewise, you can have various groups to diagnose some issue or to prevent or to measure the preventive action of a particular treatment. And all of this will be designed to check for one particular parameter in the form of a generalizable response. So if you want to check the blood pressure in all the groups where you are carrying out the treatment, that is a generalizable response. And that is just one particular parameter here. And this parameter will vary against a background of individual biological variation. This variation could be age related, or this variation could be gender related, or this variation could depend on the ethnicity of the groups, etc. So in any way, good clinical practices apply here as well. And then there are studies which are designed to determine the consequences of individuals and communities of specific preventive or therapeutic measures. So if you are carrying out any kind of a treatment where you treat a large number of people, which we call as a cohort, that is COHORT, cohort of individuals, then it comes under good clinical practices. And then those studies concerning human health related behavior in a variety of circumstances and environments. So if you are doing the treatment for 3 different groups that are located in one group in the desert, one group in the island or oceanous region, and one group in hilly region, where the human related behavior could differ depending on the climate or the environment or the circumstance. So here again the good clinical practices apply. And finally, we have the studies that employ either observation or physical, chemical or physiological intervention, which may generate records or make use of existing records containing biomedical or other information about the individuals who may or may not be identifiable from records or information. So here you get an access to patient records who have undergone treatment to a standard drug, and you want to check it against your test molecule. So here the observation could be anything. It could be physical, chemical or physiological, and it could be by the means of records that have already been generated or that are existing in the hospital archives. Although there are no direct volunteers involved, the individuals whose records are accessed may be considered as volunteers, and good clinical practices are to be strictly followed during this entire period while obtaining information from the records. And finally, although some of the principles of good clinical practices cannot be applied on all types of research carried out on human beings, the researchers must take into consideration these principles of good clinical practice. You should respect the principles associated with good clinical practice, and it will be strongly encouraged to apply these practices wherever possible as a means of ensuring the ethical, the methodologically sound and accurate conduct of human trials. So, if there is something beyond the cases we just discussed, where the good clinical practices may be applicable, and if these cases involve human volunteers, then utmost care must be taken to ensure the ethical and methodologically acceptable and accurate conduct of such experiments. So, with this, I would like to conclude today's lecture. Thank you all.